Good Up is a safe space for casual, cultural, and controversial life topics for people of all ages from the Afro-Caribbean and American lens. It's your Tuesday reminder that no matter where your walk in life takes you, you're good up bad. The show is hosted and produced by Deidre Ritter and Heiza Quinones Ivory, and is a proud member of the Kickin' It family. Follow us on social media at Good Up Pod. Use hashtag GoodUpTuesday to join the conversation. And visit us over at patreon.com/gooduppodcast to join our Patreon family and get exclusive access to bonus content.
Sis, I don't think I understand. You good up bad. Like, hello.
All right, welcome back to the Good Up Podcast. Y'all have had a couple of weeks now of like really hard-hitting, deep dive, all up in your feelings conversations. So tonight we talking about fucking.
Yeah. Cue Megan Thee Stallion. Cue WAP. Okay.
Yeah, we
my kind of topic.
So some are really familiar with the voice you just heard. If you not, I have one of my like longtime friends, you know, Guala, the big-headed person that everyone knows and loves. Apparently, Deidre is arguing that he has grown into his head, so we might not be allowed to call him by his nickname anymore.
Well, here's the thing. Like, when we were children in elementary school, his head was a lot bigger. Like, he grew into his head. For sure. Like, it's like a normal size head for a human body. Like, you're not going to keep calling Higuala. Look at this. He grew into his head. Turn to the side.
All right. So Bash, tell the people I'm high. Tell the people I'm high.
Oh, shit. Okay. Going on, people. This is your boy Bashment. I just got to come out to my friends, you know. Yaga, yaga. Guala, guala, guala.
So Bash is joining us for the first time on the Good Up Podcast. It's been a long time coming, but he is joining us for a very interesting topic. We are talking about, I can't even call it dick appointments because Bash here, so I don't even know what men call it, but we basically talking about fuck buddies and
that's a good way to start it. Bash, speaking for yourself and the other men, we call those little sneaky link visits dick appointments. What do you guys call them when you're meeting with a woman?
We don't call it going on a wife run.
A wife run. Wow.
Okay. Yep, going on a wife run.
I've heard it called a lot of things. I've heard it called a dick appointment. I've heard sneaky link.
Sneaky link I've heard.
You know, about to go check my fuck buddy.
I think sneaky link is this new term now. I don't even know what sneaky link is.
Somebody that you sneak around to fuck.
But
somebody that you're not supposed to be, or somebody you're not supposed to be fucking,
or maybe you just don't want everybody to know, I guess. So
maybe it's just a thing where it's truly just sex and there's no point in putting like a label to it, so it's easier to just say sneaky link, I guess.
Okay, that makes sense. I guess. Okay, I can live with that. Okay.
Well, no matter what you call it, that's what the fuck we're talking about tonight. So please know this episode is not safe for work. Don't listen to this shit at your desk. If you do, your co-workers gonna know all of your business. But we started
they're gonna probably judge you.
Yeah, but that's okay because fuck them. We are starting with. I think my first question would be, what do I think makes a good fuck buddy?
Somebody who can fuck good.
Okay,
that's definitely number one.
Okay.
That's definitely number one.
I was going to say obviously, but then I realized like sometimes we've had fuck buddies in the past who really wasn't hitting the spot, but like it was convenient.
Yeah.
So
we've had that.
And that was my number two right there, convenience.
What's your number three, Bash?
That's a good question. That's number three. I was only thinking about those two. One, it being able to fuck good, and two, convenience. So what would be your number three?
Is that really all you need? I think that's all you need.
I mean, well, yeah, because it's self-explanatory. Fuck buddy. Now me, because I'm annoying, right? I also, I mean on lie, right? I also like to be able to have like laughter and jokes. Like, cause for me, I just feel a little sleazy if we just knocking boots and then out the door. maybe laugh me out of my drawers, crack jokes. I will crack jokes, you will crack jokes.
I'm not going to lie. Also, yes, disclaimer, because I love to say as fuck. I am aware that I am a married woman. I had a life before I got married. That life included fuck buddies. Shut the fuck up. Nobody want to hear about that shit during this episode. We're talking in the past.
Life. I don't know what they worry about.
We're talking about my past life, but I will say, I think that a fuck buddy should be a buddy. Like,
exactly.
I enjoy when a fuck buddy is somebody who I'm also friends with, not necessarily so that like, oh, everybody know, but like, it could still be a sneaky link, but like, let we have like, let we smoke, let we watch some TV, like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, those things are possible with a fuck buddy, but for me, those things are not required. But so for instance, right, I know a lot of people tend to have this thing where when they're under stress, they like to like have sex to like release the thing, whatever. I've never been one of those people, but if I happen to be under stress and I'm about to link up with my sneaky link or my fuck buddy or whomever, at the very least, I would rather you make me laugh in order for me to release that stress than to just get to fucking. That just feels very transactional. I don't know. I could be wrong there.
So I'm gonna let Bash go because Bash said,
yeah, he's not here for that.
I want to know. Bash, you don't no? Okay.
I feel like once again to that kind of territory, when it's up to having like an actual friendship, that's where feelings start to get involved. And one thing, if that's just your wife friend, your sneaky link, your fuck buddy, whatever y'all want to call it, you need to not get feelings involved in that because that's all y'all there for, to have sex, to fuck.
So do you think that every time it gonna be feelings, like even if it's like, you're just friends, you're just cool, like it's just... I mean,
it's to a certain extent. Like how you said, like sit down and watch TV and stuff like that, that I feel like feelings gonna start to get involved. Because if you sit down and watch TV, then y'all gonna start to have your own jokes that y'all can laugh at. And they're gonna start to be a lot more personal, a lot more intimate.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
That's a form of intimacy. Now, without talking too much of my business, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit.
I talking all my fucking business tonight. Go ahead.
Because
I wait open tonight. So.
For those members of the community that was on my live the other night, y'all know my fuck buddy was coming over. Okay, him and I have been friends for years. And when I say friends, I mean friends. But I feel like him and I, we definitely are like, we have that kind of friendship, like hey, as I mentioned, like watching TV and stuff. Like he doesn't come over so we can watch TV, but if he comes over and I'm still watching my show, I'm not gonna cut it off to get some dick. You're gonna have to wait till this episode is done, and he'll watch it with me, and we'll like I'm not gonna stop my show. Like that's just
not
me,
you
right?
Get this man watching Desperate Housewives before.
No, he's definitely watched Pose with me. This is I mean,
that's different. You're right. I give you that.
Right. So he'll come over. I'll be like, hey, what you want to drink? We watching the show. We talking shit. We cracking jokes. We get to business. But we also talk. Like him and I don't talk about a lot of stuff. Even when I ended up getting a boyfriend and being like, yo, I got a man now. So like, he was like, what fuck? But we're still friends and we weren't crossing those boundaries. But we would still talk and stuff. And then even after that relationship done, we went back to, being
that's the most
again.
convenient shit ever when like you you end up dating somebody and then you stop dating a person, but like you and your fuck buddy end up single at the same time and they like, bet, resume where we left off. See you later.
Right. And that's the thing. So and without talking too much of our business, we're both single, ironically enough. But none of us, well, let me take that back. When him and I first met, none of us were looking for anything serious at all. And so it was just so easy. And I would always make this joke with him and be like, I know I'm your favorite, like hands down. First of all, because I know I'm your favorite and you're not going to act like I'm not, right? So we have this little joke where we'd always say that. But even like now, after it's been 3 years, I think we're approaching 4 years that we've been involved. I'm at a point in my own life where I do want something more serious. And I was just talking to her off air about this, like, I feel like it might be time to like break up with him because I know I want something more serious and I don't want to start requiring more from him that he might not be ready to give.
But you know why I respect you for that? And not even like I wouldn't respect you otherwise. I'm just saying like I respect the fact that like you and your fuck buddy sort of establish what it was, and now that you know that you want something more, you ain't putting that expectation on the person who you like. Y'all didn't come into that situation expecting a relationship, right? So now that you know that that's what you want, you're not putting it on him to give that
because
to
like what
you,
we've been
because that's not what he
right,
signed up
exactly.
for.
And that's my thing, because even like earlier I found myself being like for one, you could at least initiate a conversation with him, but then at the same time I'm like, no, but we never talked about wanting something like that with each other. Now I think out of maturity, the least I could do is establish a conversation and not just be like, hey, so I don't want you to be my fuck buddy no more. Maybe tell him exactly what I just told y'all. Like, hey, listen.
Yeah. That's all you could do is communicate.
Yeah, and you
And
never
to be
know.
honest, that's probably the best. That was the best way you went about it, because it'll get a lot of girls that come with the expectation, like, okay, now I have that feeling. Now we gotta be in a relationship. Now this, now that. The fact that you went ahead and have that conversation with him, I give you kudos for that one. Then
we haven't had it yet, child. We haven't had it yet, but we're gonna have it. We finna have it though, because yeah.
Well, have that conversation with homeboy, because he needs to know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm definitely gonna have it with him. And if he's like, you know what? Yeah, no, I don't want nothing more. I'm not gonna be offended, because when we first started seeing each other, we never wanted anything more. So, you know. Who knows?
So here's my next question. What are some rules that should be established at the very beginning of a fuck buddy relationship?
Honesty.
Yes. I'm with Bash on this.
He said honesty like marriage, like honesty.
Not real talk.
No,
because
it's
like
true.
How normally with me, when I fucking with a woman or whatever, I tell them I need to know what I getting myself into. If like, and I gonna be real, back in my UVI days, I used to be a fuck boy. But I was an honest fuckboy, if that makes sense. Like, and I would want you to be honest.
It gets some girl listening to this episode right now. Like,
yes,
they're gonna have to accept the truth now. I'm sorry.
Again, you know what? Hey. Let's do this. Because you gave me props for being ready to have that conversation with my fuck buddy. I'm gonna give you props for being able to say I was a fuck boy. Because you know how many men do not want to admit. I know a 44-year-old man who's a fuck nigga. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Somebody in our audience, somebody in our audience listening to this fuck right now, her heart get hot up in your eyes. She vexed.
Carry on with the honesty.
No, because like I said, I like to know exactly what I get myself into. Like if you have a boyfriend, or because a lot of women are cheat, don't get me wrong. And if you messing with somebody else, or if you're looking for a relationship, or if you just want to fuck or whatever, like just be honest from the jump. And like how you say, like how you feel like you about to get more, or you feeling for more. That's the honesty that I feel like I want from a woman. Because I don't want to stay here thinking that everything good, me and Deidre fucking da-da-da-da-da. And in the back of her mind is like, okay, she want more. And then all of a sudden you start to move different with me. And like, okay, what's going on? What's your problem? Da-da-da-da. And then it just end out of nowhere. I would like for you to tell me straight up, like how you say you're about to do a partner. So I really appreciate that there.
Shout out to that.
What's a rule for you, Deidre?
You know what? I feel like all roads lead to honesty. Mm-hmm. Not only honesty with that person, but also honesty with yourself. Because I know people personally who will say like I have plenty of friends who will meet somebody and this person is very clear about, oh, I'm not looking for nothing serious. But then they'll be like, yeah, me neither. In hopes of changing that person's mind. And I've dealt with men who would do that with me. I've dealt with men who would do that with me, right?
Okay, that's crazy.
And so for that, with the honesty, it's not just honesty with that person, but honesty with yourself. And honestly, and I know this is going to be very spiritual and annoying, but self-fucking love. Because if you don't love yourself enough, you will tolerate some real fuck shit just because somebody's a fuck buddy. Because me, a shout out to our previous episode, boundaries need to be established when you have a fuck buddy.
That sucks.
What's the point, right? What's the point in having somebody in your life who you fucking if you're gonna tolerate some bullshit? And I don't even know, like for one, don't be just fucking somebody if you ain't enjoying the sex. What's the point? For two, be like, I remember me and my fuck buddy in the beginning, we would have this thing where we would randomly look at each other and be like, don't catch feelings, you know? We would just do that. And that ain't for the faint of heart. Because if I was one of them girls, I would probably be in my feelings every time he would say that to me. But the reality is I was saying that shit to him because, and I could just say this, right? As the Aquarius woman that I am, anybody who I've had a casual relationship with, they usually end up being like, I've never had this with a woman. Like at some point, women start the crying and the feelings, and they get to feeling like I'm not doing enough for them. And I'm like, okay, like it ain't me. So what would happen is, hello. And what would happen is they would be the ones to catch feelings. Because I've had a guy who I was dating years ago, and I was like, listen, I'm not looking for nothing serious. I'm not in a place for a relationship. I don't have anything to give to a relationship. And he's like, that's fine. I'm not putting pressure on you. Me neither. And guess who was getting asked mad questions? This bitch right here by a nigga I was not in a serious relationship with. I won't say that we were fuck buddies, but we definitely weren't a couple. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so honesty with yourself and also boundaries. Because the reality is if you get to a point where you feel like you cannot handle what's going on in that thing where you know you want more, get the fuck out of that shit. Get out of it.
I will admit that I have been one of those women, one of those people who entered a fuck buddy situation that, you know, and ended up developing feelings for the person and having those. Shut the fuck up. Having those.
She used to spill all the tea to me all the time. And
you gonna talk your friend business?
Listen, we said we being honest in this podcast episode. But Bash knows because like as my friend, there have been times where like he checked me and be like, yo, like you enter the situation one way and now you have all these expectations that it's passing. Like that's not fair. Like be honest, you know. Like, be real with yourself. Like, why do you really like this person, or do you just want want a relationship? I'll never forget one time. Listen, okay. How do I say this while exposing myself? Fuck it. I was messing with one of Bash's friends, right? Somebody he was cool with, and I ended up feeling like I had liked this dude, right? And I tell Bash, and I was like, you know, I just don't think he want the same thing, or he like me back. And Bash was like, well, dog, that's not what I agreed in the beginning. And Bash was like, Jay, you need to be honest with yourself and decide if you want a fuck buddy or you want a man. And if you want a man, then ain't this person. So stop asking him for the person. And I was just like, okay. But to answer the question, I think a big rule for me in those situations, obviously, honesty, communication. And next rule for me is you don't have to stop messing with other people, but you need to be honest with me about whether or not I'm the only person you sleeping with, because I need to be able to protect myself.
Absolutely.
And you protecting yourself. Yeah. Another thing for me, like I'm very like, when is the last time you get tested? Like, do you be having unprotected sex with people? Like, I legit will ask you all of that shit on day one because I'm sorry. No, you ain't pouring no community peen in me. And then next thing you know, I get problems because of you. What else? I had rules, okay? Hello. Another one of my rules is you can't just be casually telling your boys because, and Bash knows this, man to talk the same way woman attack.
Yeah, ain't that some shit?
So you the same way me or just go to all of my friends and be like, yeah, I fucking this person. You can't just be going to everybody and being like, yeah, me and J. Like, no.
I can't believe that's really a thing that'll be happening.
I mean some people are getting excited.
I'm gonna be real, and you just hit the nail on the head when you say getting excited. If I have sex with the baddest girl right now, you guarantee I'm going to tell my best friend. That's one thing I'm going to do. Now, I ain't the kind of nigga that gonna go running my mouth telling every dude. Yeah, because
so your best friend, cool. All your boy them though, like when I show up to the club or something, and your boy them watching me smiling because they know.
Oh, that's so fucking. I don't like that shit. See, that's
in that sense, that's a dick measuring contest for them, because now it's more like, yeah, I got one up you, or you get this girl. That pressing you this and that. Okay, I gotta show you. Jay look fine as fuck. I fuck that. Or you want to set that, or you want to set that as a deterrent, because at the end of the day, let's say me and Jay have sex. Okay, cool. And then I know I want to have sex with her, but then she ended up coming in the club and she ended up seeing John or whoever, and she ain't giving me no play, but she giving John play, and they're like, what the fuck? So then now, and I have seen it. I've seen a bunch of men do that fuck for you. I hate that shit. Now I gonna go and tell John, me and Jay fucking, even though that was like our agreement, even though it won't even something, even though me and John is not real close friends, I gonna go and say that because I feel that way. And you're right, patriarchy. The male ego is very, very, very fragile. And I can be real with you about that. There.
Yeah.
And it takes me a while to realize that the male ego is extremely fragile. So he gonna feel that way if you ain't giving him the attention he feels he deserves. He want you to give him that kind of attention.
I gonna give it to you there, mostly because in a situation where, like, let's say I will fucking with somebody either to the club with my girls, no matter how close they be to me. If one of them say, "Oh, look at this person over there, like he fine, I want to talk to he," I at least need to give she a heads up, like, just so you know, I fucking with this person. Because I don't want my friend to go into that situation blind thinking like, oh, this is somebody I could talk to, possibly date, and like, hey, I was writing them into oblivion on Tuesday nights after 7. You know?
That's fair.
Like,
yeah.
I need to share that information. So
random.
But you know, to make a long story short, like that is one of my rules. Like, yeah, with discretion, share it to who you need to share it to, I guess. But like, don't be like publicizing it. Like, I really like for it to be secretive. Like, I won't hide it, but I also don't want everybody like knowing
it's just
my
personal business. You know what I mean? It's not like you guys are in a relationship, you know? So it's personal, it's private.
Exactly.
And that's fair.
And one thing I will say, I have a personal rule. I have never lied to anybody about somebody who I've fucked with. So if a current partner comes to me and say, hey, you fucked that person, I'll be like, yeah. Like if the person current girlfriend come to me and ask me if I ever mess with her man, yeah, we have. Not anymore though, but we have.
Yeah, I'm that girl. Don't come to me as a woman. Do not come to me as a woman.
Yeah.
You'll leave with your feelings hurt.
Especially if you want the answer to be no. I have had people call me and it's been years since, you know, maybe me and their partner like had something or whatever, and they've been like, have you ever fucked with so and so? And I'll be like, yeah. I'll tell you the exact dates too if you want me to, but like, do you need that information? Like,
yeah, no, don't come to me.
The fuckboy in me is to deny. Like, you are not going to come to me and ask me if I mess with this girl. I'm gonna be like, me at home, you're just safe. And that's that. I am never going to.
I love that.
I'm not. I would never.
I will tell you.
What?
Yeah, don't come to me as a woman. Don't come to me as a woman. Like,
because that done happen to me a couple of times too. Yeah, man done hit me up about messing with a girl or whatever, and I'll be like, in my head, I've been, first of all, I didn't even know she had a man.
Oh, okay. Because I guess that's the thing. If it's a thing where the person have,
if it's current, like if that's your current man, me ain't telling you that shit. Cause then you gonna be calling my phone from private, hanging up, breathing on my line. No, me want all of that.
You know, I think this is a good segue because we talked about rules, but I think the rules, there should be like a subsection of rules regarding when your fuck buddy has a spouse or a partner, or you have a spouse or a partner. Cause we're not gonna act like most fuck buddy situations are not people who are taken in some capacity. Okay? We're not gonna act like that. So what them rules be at that case? Because first of all, I get it, right? If you fucking somebody who has a person, if you're gonna be like, yeah, bitch, I'm fucking your nigga, that's like, well, I'm not that girl. But if me and your man ain't fucking no more, and you come to me as a woman to ask if I'm fucking him, yes, bitch, I was fucking him. Not now, but then yes.
Can I be
honest? I wouldn't call you a bitch. It's not necessary to call her a bitch, but you know.
I don't think I ever fucked anybody, man, like on purpose, but I have definitely like wrecked a few apartments by accident. Like,
you're an apartment wrecker?
I was like, so there was a situation like where
Bash, just so you know, an apartment wrecker is somebody who wrecks a relationship, not a marriage. Carry on.
Yeah, like when you wreck up.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So
I like that.
If it's not a home yet, that means that they ain't married, so it's an apartment. I've wrecked a few apartments. It's been like there have been situations where, like, let's say I had a one night stand with somebody, or like it was very casual, spontaneous, and next thing you know, we went rainbow on Sunday, And Papa was walking with his woman, and I was like, wait, there is a lady in this situation. Like, and I legit feel remorse when that happens, but like that goes back to honesty. I am not in the business of fucking people, man. So you need to tell me if you are openly dating people, if you are openly fucking other people and you single, cool. But if you have somebody who, and that's another thing, if you have somebody who think she's your woman or think he's your man, I
How
don't
is that
want.
my fault if she thinks so?
Yeah.
Like,
We know, Bash.
this shelf life supposed. Shut up. Like this.
Hey, but you come to spill some tea because I'm nosy.
No,
What's
she can
up?
tell you.
Look,
She can tell you about the woman then.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to know.
Look, I am. Me and Bash have a very interesting friendship and very interesting history. So our dynamic is fucking hilarious. Like, and the shit that I don't have to listen to Bash tell me about these women.
God.
And how these women will like claim ownership over Bash like real quick while he living his life single. I'd listen. If I don't want to call these girls and be like, okay, mama, let's talk about this. Bash is not your man. I know you think he's your man. I know you want he to be your man, but he your man. And he going to be your man. So let's just, I don't want to spare them because like as one of his best friends, like I know, but they don't know.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
And it's not that he doesn't communicate.
But you know what?
No,
That's on them though, because
exactly.
That's on them. You have to take some account, because that's what gets me mad. Is now, if it's one thing if they're being clear, like, yo, this is what I want out of you, and then you making it seem like that's something you're willing to give. Because even I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna talk my ex business. When him and I got together, I was very clear on what I wanted with us. I was very transparent about what I wanted for him and I, and he was making it seem as saying things that clearly said that he agreed, right? And that's the track we were on. But then after a year, I'm realizing I'm not seeing as much progress as I would like. What's happening here? And then when I bring it up, you're now trying to deflect and weave around. And I straight up asked him, I said, was I ever unclear about what I wanted? And he's like,
I need a woman like you.
And I'm like, did I ever say, what did I, and I even asked him, I said, tell me exactly what I said to you that my intention was for you and I. And he told me, and I said, okay, is that congruent with what's going on right now? Because it don't seem so to me. You know what? And I just got to the point where I was hella stern. But if you're not direct and clear, you're going to find yourself thinking you somebody woman and you not.
Okay,
and then you
so
get
that's how it
talking
goes.
about, oh, it was an accident. I didn't know.
I mean, I can understand where the man will go wrong sometimes. And that's what I was telling you about that whole watching movies thing, because you have some men that are like, and the only reason I know that because like girls that did talk to me about their love life and stuff like that. You have some guys that did put too much work into it instead of just leaving it as just sex. Like I know some girls that just wanted a fuck buddy, but then partner end up doing everything extra. Like want to take her out for dinner, want to do this, want to do that. Of course, she's going to develop feelings for you. Of
How come
course,
I never find a fuck buddy that wants to take me out to dinner? What the fuck?
I have seen that all the time, and it'll be man, and then them same guys will get upset if she talk to somebody else or whatever the case may be. You giving her that feeling that you want to be with her.
Can I ask one thing?
That's really a case of people just not being honest with themselves, though.
With themselves. Now,
on both
with that, I think a lot of the time, because I'm guilty of this too. A lot of us, because for one, we're social creatures, right? But it's that companionship, right? We desire companionship, but not partnership. We desire that, going out to dinner and all those intimate experiences without having to commit to that one person. That's number one. Number two, I do feel in my heart of hearts that this is a matter of demographic. I think that naturally Caribbean men tend to just know how to take care of women in that way. American men, they know how to fuck, but they show up, they give you what they came for, and they leave. You know what I mean? But I feel like Caribbean men, sometimes, but I feel like, I think it might be a Caribbean man thing where Caribbean men can't help but to be like a little nicer to somebody, even if they just fucking. Because even my friend who's Jamaican, he's like, but why are you supposed to do? Just treat them fuck up just because we only fucking. And I'm like, no, but you don't have to do all those additional things. Like, why are you going grocery shopping with this girl? And being
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
you know what I mean? I think maybe that's a Caribbean man thing.
And I give you that there because it takes for a girl that I was fucking with to tell me that straight up. She been like, Bash, one thing you not gonna fucking do, and she tell me just so. One thing you not gonna fucking do is treat me good like this shit and da 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 and expect to just leave. So I was like, wait.
Hello, listen. The chemicals in our brains naturally make us bond to people when they do shit like that. But first of all, are we gonna talk about the fact that oxytocin and sex, and we naturally bond with people when we have sex with them, and that's why fuck buddy situations really don't work? Or we're gonna keep this as a casual conversation?
Me and you gonna have to agree to disagree there.
Really?
I firmly don't believe in things like soul ties and all that stuff.
No, I'm not. I didn't say soul ties. I said oxytocin, which is a chemical that our brain releases when we have a good
you're saying like dick is crack, basically.
Not dick, but the overall experience.
Pussy is crack for sure.
Hello, but naturally our bodies, when we feel those connections with people, we bond with them a little. You know what I mean?
Fair. Because
that's what
I will
mean.
say,
so
like,
the more you do it, the more, because even me, I'm like, you know what? After all this time, I want something more. And it's not even just with him, it's just me in general. But it's easy for me to start seeing him in this light. Like, oh, I wonder what it would be like to be more intimate with such and such in this way, because I've had such a history with him. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's a fact. Like,
and there is a connection there, whether or not it's an emotional connection. Like, you can have a sexual connection with somebody and care for them, but not necessarily have deeper feelings
in love with them.
Or
and I don't think it's a love thing. I just think it's like, you know.
So let me ask you this: do you prefer for your fuck buddy appointments to be spontaneous or pre-planned? Like, do you schedule that shit out? Like, all right, Papa, is Tuesday, or like once a week, or like
I don't do that.
Well, not like that. Well, mine will be more like after the club kind of vibes.
Oh.
If I know I want to fuck, if I know I don't get liquor in me answer, I can just hit you that you up text, and then once you reply, I don't know where I go.
Damn.
I ever see somebody in the club and like there's like a look, like parking lot, 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Cool. See you later.
Oh yeah, that's me for sure.
I don't
like you would never know who I fucking, because like I don't like my main thing. I don't like people to know my business. Like how they just saying the whole time. I am that same exact way. So me and her would know. Me and her friend would probably know. Yeah. But everybody in the club, I'm never going to ever make it obvious that I have something with a girl.
You ain't gonna never know.
Exactly. It'll be a look, or I'll probably just send a text like,
hello.
Okay, or something, do something slick, you know, like probably walk past her and say something, or just send a drink her way, or do something. Like I would do like random spontaneous things. So
in the beginning, or I guess when I first started like having casual sex, I guess I wanted it pre-planned. I guess like I needed to know what day and time am I gonna see you, you know. I don't know why, but I think the reason I kind of strayed away from that too, not only because I used to love like the thrill of it, like how Bash talking about like seeing the person in the club, flirting with them, getting that text message with a little eye emoji, like you trying to like, oh, okay, cool. Like I used to love that shit because that shit, like it was fun. Also it was thrilling when like more than one of like my fuck buddies would show up to the club, and then all three would like text, and I would be like, which one do I choose tonight? Like,
you are a hoe. Oh my God, we love to see it.
We've discussed this. I definitely ended up preferring more of like the spontaneous, like see you when I see you type thing, because it also removes a lot of the expectation and a lot of the obligation out of the situation. Like, I see you when I see you, when we have free time, when we feel like it takes out that element of like, I own your time and I expect to see you when I want to.
Exactly. And honestly, right, that whole scheduling sex thing is really odd to me because you don't know when you're going to be horny, right? So let's say you pre-plan for Tuesday, but then Tuesday come and you're just not in the mood. Now you got to be a dick and cancel your appointment, right? When you could just, now the thing is obviously you want to be respectful of people's time, and I hit them up like, hey, it's 10 o'clock and I'm in the mood. Get your ass over here now. You know what I mean? So there's like that fine line of how to hit them up. Obviously, I'm not living my best life like y'all and having that club scene experience.
So how do y'all prep for y'all appointment? Like, and I'm curious to ask Bash this because, like, I know me and Deidre answer gonna be the same. We have a lot of prep that goes into the appointment.
I'm gonna tell y'all a little story, but go ahead.
Yeah, but like, Bash, how do y'all get ready for that shit? Like, do y'all do grooming? Like, what do you do?
Grooming. Well, yeah, me personally, I had to shave down and stuff like that. Then take my shower. Just, I don't know, I don't know. It ain't really a process. It just go take a shower. Like if mama hit me up and tell me, okay, well, if you could come over at 10, very cool. Get up, take my shower, head out, and that's it.
Listen,
Life's so simple for man. Like,
right? The guy's so good. Let me tell you, a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and you know, me and my little fuck buddy, we was making our plans that afternoon. We hadn't seen each other in a while, okay? And we was making our little plan. It was a Friday. I'll never forget it. And he was sending me all kind of shit that afternoon. And I was like, yes, we made our little plans. We were even supposed to go out that night, right? So I'm like, okay, bet I'm excited, okay? I got myself ready. I didn't hear from this nigga. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I texted him at like 8 something to kind of verify what time I should start getting ready for him to pick me up so we could leave. And I didn't hear back from him. So now I'm fucking livid. One thing, I was vexed. So this man ain't gonna text me till after midnight. So I left that shit. I didn't even respond. And he don't have an iPhone, so he wasn't left on red, unfortunately. But I watched that fuck and I turned over and went to sleep. So the next day, he gonna text me like, D, so sorry, but last night I dozed off. But I said, listen, don't ever call me again. I was like, don't ever text me again. I said, we made plans and you just left me hanging high and dry. When I tell you, I went out and I didn't cause table make a scene, or obviously because we were texting, but I was like, it's one thing if we didn't make like plans, but you hit me up. I was minding my business. You hit me up with all this dirty talk. We make this plan, and the plan was also to go out, only for you to fall asleep. Keep it. I was like, I don't want nothing to do with you. Don't hit me up. Nothing, right?
That's
you know why
okay,
we don't get so mad though?
And then I'm about to segue into it because eventually he was like, D, I'm so sorry. I'll make it up to you, whatever, right? It took a long time for him to get back in my good graces. But one time he was giving me a ride to the airport. And this was like this year, right? So we were reminiscing about that time. And he's like, yo, like, honestly, D, why do women get so pissed if something like that happens? And I said, Papa, you like when I'm freshly waxed, right? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, you like when I smell good, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you like how soft my skin is, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you like my cute little outfits, right? He's like, of course. I'm like, you think that shit that happened like with the snap of a finger? I was like, I have to exfoliate my skin, okay? My esthetician has to rip my...
But let's talk about pre-waxing days when you had to hop in the shower and shave at the fucking speed of light.
You got to lift your leg and shave and risk cutting yourself. Like, so I'm like, all these things that you love about me, the whole experience, you think it just exists? You think it's just magic? Poof. There is preparation. I said there is preparation. And first of all, my products ain't cheap. Okay? Secondly,
aside from you gotta pay for supplies.
Like, and my thing is, I'm not gonna ask you to pay for my shit, but I'm not gonna use my shit for you to be wasting my time. Because
I gotta make sure my house look decent, or my apartment or whatever. Like, I gotta make sure that shit look decent, man.
This is a huge use of my time.
Okay, that. Mine, I just go take a shower, wear a basketball pants and no boxers, and just go over. Good to go. Yeah,
so he goes slide down and pull a wham bam, thank you, mama, leave. No TV.
Okay, girl, exactly. But guess what? I bet you when you come to her place, that shit smell good. Okay. It's clean. Okay. She smell good. Okay?
And that's why I ought to be falling asleep every time.
Hello.
You see, y'all giving me insight now. Now I understand.
You talking about you don't want no girlfriend, but then you sleeping on her sheets and talking about it smell like Donny fabrics off now.
Wow, you like, I don't know what you
who the fuck tell you to make it smell so good and make it so comfortable?
But if the shit didn't smell good, you wouldn't be fucking her. Would you, Bash, if you went to a woman's house, right? Let's say you went to a woman's house and that fuck was just a mess, or it just wasn't appealing in that way. You gonna come back? You fucking shit and the sheets smell sweaty. They don't smell fresh and clean.
okay, I not gonna come back.
Okay.
But I in my head, I don't dare. So I'm gonna be like,
no,
okay,
but I mean, moving forward, that's probably maybe the last time you show up, correct?
Yeah, definitely coming back. You're right.
Exactly. So now we doing all of this. And granted, like for me, we do it for ourselves, but at the end of the day, if you enjoying this aesthetic and this environment and this experience, then have some respect for the process. Respect the process, right. Sir. Like,
but then y'all can't get upset if partner fall asleep because I make the bed so
I don't believe his ass. No,
y'all use the good sheets.
No, hear me out though. Hear me out though. There have been nights when a partner texts me and I dead ass falling asleep, but I'm like, you know what? I tired, but I could use some dick tonight. It's pretty convenient. So I get up, I splash water on my face, I take a shot. Like, I do what I need to do to stay awake because you text me. I ain't text you.
Stay up.
Yeah, stay up. Sure. It's always that. Stay up. Make sure you don't fall asleep. And then they don't fall asleep and text me the next day talk about sorry mama. Don't sorry mama me. I shaved. I was doing shit 12 o'clock in the night that nobody does at 12 o'clock in the night.
Hello. Hello.
So
fucking play with me. One time my fuck buddy came over. I was so tired. And that was on me because I hit him up and I was like, what you doing? Like, but he came over so late. I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna hit him up and say, don't even bother. Just stay how you there. But I didn't. I just waited. I was dozing off. I'm not gonna lie. You know? And he still came over and it was lovely. And then he like covered me with my blanket and left. And I was like, we're in love. I'm kidding.
You see, you let a man cover you with a blanket and then you end up in problems.
I was like, he covered me with my blanket.
You should have flung the fucking blanket off and be like, don't do that shit.
Don't you do that shit. I swear. I was like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. It had one time when I went on a wife run and then I just been like, I think I'm in love. Because like she, like that same process y'all saying, she do the whole process. Like her room was smelling good. She had it candle lit. She had soft music playing. And then I'd be like, man, I gotta go home. And she's like, oh no, you can sleep over. So like, okay, fall asleep, wake up, mama make me breakfast in bed. Mama
she was trying to be a woman. She was trying to be a woman. Breakfast? I ain't making your ass breakfast after you fuck me unless I'm trying to be a woman.
So let me ask you.
So you tried to tell me she plugged for me? Well,
she did.
She definitely was. She definitely was trying to be your wife. She was trying to show you what your future could look like. If you
from before you walk in that fuck, she knew you were about to be her man. Like that was her plan.
She decided. Yeah.
Like you think I'd cook for everybody? No. Anyway.
Nah.
So let me ask y'all this: has a fuck buddy ever become a relationship for y'all?
Yeah.
What's that like?
A one night stand became a relationship. My longest relationship, as a matter of fact.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was legit. We're supposed to link up one time. Then one time turned into three turned into 10, and then boom, end up my girlfriend.
So, I don't think I've ever had that. Well,
I try not to think of a situation where I did have that happen, and no, because the one I'm thinking about, like we knew we liked each other before like the fuck buddy situation came about. Like it was established we had like each other. No, one time one almost did become a relationship, and it didn't become a relationship because I ended up dating somebody else because he never made me aware that he had liked me. And the whole time we had liked each other, but we were doing our whole, it's just sex, it's just casual, whatever.
Don't catch feelings.
Yeah, don't catch feelings. But in reality, we both.
Y'all had and that was y'all way. Y'all was trying to convince yourselves, not the other.
Yeah. And then I ended up, and because I was well, we agreed that this was going to be just like a casual thing. Like, I'm not going to tell him that I like him. Like, I moved on. And
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
You don't. When I started dating somebody
I think I know. I think I know.
When I started dating somebody else, I had to tell he like, hey, like, we can't do this anymore. I'm dating somebody else. And he was just like, damn, like, I had legit like you. And I was like, why the fuck you ain't said nothing? Like, I was so upset. But I mean,
but that's a good lesson in communication. And I think that's that goes back to the rules. I think that's a necessary rule, is to promise to communicate with each other. You know what I mean? Like, if one of us catches feelings or we want more, anything like that, let's say something. Because look how a boat was missed that probably could have been something, you know? So that was probably the lesson in that, you know? And that's a lesson that the listeners could take as well. If you have a fuck buddy and you catch feelings for them, maybe just muster up the courage to let them know, because one of two things is going to happen.
Right.
Be honest, yeah, and let them know, because for one, they might actually feel the same and just be too scared to tell you, and you guys could probably start going on that path to evolving whatever this connection is. And if it's a thing where they genuinely are not there with you, that's okay too, because at least you know you were honest with yourself and them. They can move on and find another fuck buddy, and you can be proud of yourself for the growth, and then you can attract who's really meant for you.
And that's facts right there.
Yeah.
You're so smart. Look at you.
All right.
I'm gonna tell y'all how it go in part 2.
So right. I'm like, you need to go talk to your fuck buddy right now.
You know, I might text him when we done recording.
So in order to close the episode, I think I want to go around. I want everybody to give one tip for someone who is looking to be in a fuck buddy situation. What is one thing you would tell anybody who's looking to have casual sex with somebody else?
You go first.
My one tip would be to just be honest, not just honest with a person, but honest with yourself. If that's exactly what you want, if that's what you're looking for, be honest with it. If your feelings change, be honest, because I am not going to be able to read your mind. As a man, if I fucking this girl, I'm going to keep it as we just fucking the whole time, unless my feelings change. But if I dare thinking, okay, like every Friday night, me and this girl fucking da-da-da-da, which part of my mind gonna be like, we changing? You have to be the one to tell me your feelings changing or whatever the case may be. So just be honest.
Can I ask a question about that?
Go ahead.
If your feelings change, what do? You bash for yourself, not for the man, but for yourself. What do you do when your feelings change?
Me now, I'd be honest. Back then, I would leave you alone.
Damn.
Because I'll be like, yeah, this is too much. And I don't want to be with this girl. No. I just wanted to fuck. But now I like her. No. I go home.
Is that what you did with the young lady who made you eggs Benedict?
That's exactly what I did with her.
She probably thought her eggs had taste bad and watch
after no,
she cried.
I stayed there and I ate that breakfast. She was an older woman, so I know she ain't cry. I just thought that she was just...
First of all, Bash, older women cry.
Well, I just really thought that's what she had like. That's how she was. But now y'all telling me she was trying to trap me. So I don't know.
First of all, nobody said trap. Second,
I said trap. She was trying to trap.
I can't speak for all the older women, but maybe for her, because I do know that there seems to be this collective of older people who act like they're in a whole relationship with you when they don't want a relationship. So they will cook for you. They will do all these lovely things. They will pay your bills only for you to find out.
That has never happened to me. Most of the older women I ever messed with, they're just happy to do that. Like, they know exactly what they want. They know they want me to fuck them. So if they feel like that will make me happy at the end of the day, okay, cool, da-da-da-da. Until they find somebody that...
I feel like this is like a Calabash exclusive. Like, all the girls who are wondering, like, what the fuck Bash
like, he was leaving y'all for older women who was cooking breakfast for him, ladies.
Like, bitches were cooking he eggs, mama. And all you were doing was texting he after you leave courtyard and asking he what he doing. Like, that's why Bash didn't.
That's why it didn't work out. Because somebody's mama was making him breakfast.
I'm so
and
glad
probably
that I
packing him a lunch for work the next day too.
I'm so glad that I could bring these women closure.
Wow.
Wow. Well, girl, step your cookies up.
That's facts. Step your game up, ladies.
But no. Let me do this, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna advocate for the ladies first. Don't be doing shit like that for a nigga that's not your man. Okay?
Why not?
Leave it for the older broads who divorcees. No, because these men love to enjoy the benefits of all those girlfriend experiences. But then when you be like, but what are we? They be like, girl, we fucking. Treat these niggas that you fucking like somebody you is fucking, girls. Keep texting them after courtyard.
I'll add something to what Deidre just said. If you don't want to just do nice things like that for somebody who is your boyfriend, then do it with the thought in mind that unless this person said he's my man, he ain't my man.
Exactly. If you're gonna
Like,
do it. Oh, you know what? Thank you. Somebody just said to say this to y'all. I know this is crazy, but do it from love, not for love. So if you're doing it, don't expect any kind of expectation in return. Just do it because it's not. Because like for me, I love feeding my niggas. I love feeding people. So I get satisfaction out of feeding people and nurturing them and all that
Bash,
shit.
Deidre, Bash.
I mean, I could throw a house party. Bash, come up. We'll have a house party. Okay, I'll cook, feed the nigga, whatever.
Where
in
you
any
live?
case, I live in Jersey City. It's still warm up here. It's gonna be warm for a while because global warming.
Where is that?
It's right across the pond from New York City. If you've never, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Anyway, but in any case, if you don't necessarily like cooking for people, but you're doing this because you feel like it's gonna earn you some points, baby girl, don't do it. Okay. But if you love to cook for people and that's a thing that turns you on, then yes, absolutely do it. So that was a good point here, Isa. That was a very
do
good
it
point.
from love, not for love. That's what you said, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Deidre, was that your advice for people in fuck buddy situations?
No, that was piggybacking off of Bash's. For me, I think the advice that I would share, make sure you actually enjoying the sex. And that I think that's more so for the,
that's for women.
Yeah, that's specifically for women because I know so many women who have not had like orgasms and things such as that. If you've never had, like, I don't see the point in having a fuck buddy if you're not enjoying the sex.
Y'all remember that period of time where like VI man didn't want to give head? Like,
what was that? What even was that?
Now look at us. Well, look at me, fucking Pussysaurus Rex.
First of all, I'm so
Bash, what's your favorite? How do you like your eggs, Bash?
like
I'm gonna make them right now. Turkey bacon, regular bacon. What do you?
You making me want to catch a flight right now. Girl.
I have a waffle iron. Okay.
Man,
this is so awkward for me.
Deidre, don't fuck on me now.
She said, "How do you like your eggs?"
Oh God, no.
Anyway,
sorry.
Focus. My advice.
Okay,
this
sorry.
bitch said, "Bash, how do you like your eggs?" I done. Deidre, watch. You gonna start getting a bunch of random friend requests.
And I'm gonna tell them, don't come to me as a woman because
I
always got eggs in my fridge. Don't come to me as a woman.
Mama who actually make you breakfast gonna be.
She gonna be like, so I am the one who makes Bash's breakfast, and I'm gonna say, well, I got access to good ass New York bagels. What's up, sis? You could give Titi bread. I will give him bagels.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with Titi bread. Anyway, okay, wait.
No, I love Titi bread, but I can't find it up here.
All right. My advice to people who are in or entering fuck buddy situations, ditto to what everybody else just said, especially the actually enjoy the sex part, because that ain't your man, so you ain't committed, so make sure it's actually, my advice would be safe and don't be scared to establish your own rules and communicate that with that person. If that person wants sex from you, cool. If you require that person to get tested, tell them. If you require that person don't talk to you when you're in the club, tell them. Like, don't associate with me in public. Nobody need to know. Just don't be afraid to like set the tone for it, especially if you're a woman, because a lot of the time I feel like the men unofficially make the rules in fuck buddy situations. Like women, like, you have the right to be like, hey, this is how this shit gonna go. Like,
absolutely
you absolutely can do that. Same thing for men. Like, dude, don't be scared to tell this person like, hey, don't be talking to me in the club. Like, we just don't do that and it'll be fine. But Bash, I would like for you to share where these people can find you, especially now that you have started on a new venture. And
Yes, y'all can find me on Facebook by my real name, Kareem Eugene. And I have my own podcast called The Bashment that we do it every other Friday. We actually have an episode coming up. Make sure y'all check that out. Look it up on Facebook. And we're going to have a good time, just like how this podcast was extremely fun. Now I seen DJ in a whole different light,
you
smell it. Got it. Poached eggs,
I,
got it.
I love some eggs. I love some eggs. But like how this podcast or my podcast, we get in there. We get in there. We're only 3 episodes in, but we getting there. Now I get some pointers how to run it good from y'all. So now I'm about to put that into work.
You know the good up podcast that we teaching the people them.
We really do. We be
we
creating
imperfect, but we
blueprints and
try.
shit. We get in there. We get in there. Man, Bash, this was so good. Thank you so much for coming. It's really, really, really good. You know, hey, Isa, she have a whole permanent fuck buddy who put a whole ring on it. So these pointers don't really matter to her. But as a single woman who's trying to figure out what's happening here, it's nice to hear a man's perspective. You know what I mean? From an honest place and not have that filter where they're trying to make sure they don't hurt your little feelings or whatever. So thank you for being here. This was really good. This was a fun episode.
Yes. All right. So if you listen to this episode, don't be out here telling people business unless you pointing them back to my fucking podcast. So if you gonna go to your girl and be like, listen to this fuck that Bash was talking about, make sure you send she the link, bitch, because I should get engagement out of it.
Yeah, don't be playing it from your phone. Don't be screen recording or recording however the fuck. Yeah, send them the link.
Copy link. Send them the link.
And don't send no timestamps neither.
Right.
Make sure you listen to the whole fuck.
If you gonna send Mele, make sure they're giving us engagement. Leave a review while you at it, you know?
And stay on my DM, because I still gonna make you egg.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
What emojis do you guys send to your fuck buddy when you're trying to smash?
Yes.
Let's use the tongue on the water.
The tongue on the water. So find us at Good Up Pod. Use and tell us, quote, a tweet, DM us on Instagram, tag us, and tag us. Don't send nothing else. Use just the emojis that you use when you trying to contact your little sneaky link.
Should I tell you guys what mine is?
Not yet. I want to see. You need to go.
You want to see? Okay, I'm gonna post it. Y'all gonna see it in a couple seconds. Y'all gonna see it soon.
But other than that, you can find us on Patreon. Remember that signing up as a patron for the Good Up Podcast means that we get to keep the podcast going. We get to upgrade our equipment. We get to do all types of cool shit. And I try not go see Deidre, okay? So make sure you sign up as a patron. The minimum tier is $3 a month. Everybody have $3 a month. You've spent more on fucking condoms that wasn't even your size in Gateway gas station, bitch. So sign up as a patron. Patreon.com/Good Up Podcast. Other than that, Deidre, tell the people and bye.